Yeah, I think last week we had Sister Ramani who shared that in solitude, she tried to connect with nature, which has consciousness in it also. And then I think many of us last week also felt the same thing, that in nature, we connect more easily with our consciousness. And then, all right, yeah, especially she said when she's alone, and then she could also feel Ananda with the trees and the wind and the water, mainly with nature. So that was what she experienced. And then Brother Manoj, I wonder if Brother Manoj is here. Yeah, Brother Manoj commented that what Sister Ramani said, open up another angle of seeing the truth, like the ears can hear certain frequencies, the eyes do. And in the same way, our senses, by which we have to decipher the cosmic consciousness, is within a certain parameter with which we can explore. So like Brother Mano said, the stone is solid, water is fluid, gases are rising, and all those things. But human nature is very admirable in that it goes beyond its capacity to explore what is the real nature. Yeah, human nature is indeed admirable. And he said that when they were in school, they were told that particles are solid, but later on learned that everything is energy. And he said that Brother Suresh had also said that everything is a perception. And then like Akasha or ether is one of the 5 things by which this whole creation came about. Everything is the 5 elements. So beyond these 5 is the consciousness. And cosmic consciousness is beyond any qualities. It is so minute that it pierces everything. It is the substratum of all the creation. And I said it is like the microcosm in the macrocosm. Then what Sister Ramani said, she looked at both Ananda and Asti Bhati Priyam as the same. Asti is, the isness, and something that is ever present, is eternal, that never goes away, and that isness is constant. And looking at the world with that lens, do we know that our senses are limited, what we can see and what we can hear? Yeah, like what Brother Mano said earlier, certain frequencies only, So being aware that there are frequencies that exist that I cannot hear is helpful for me to know about those existence. So being aware of this one Atma that pervades everything, that's the part that is the bhati. Recognizing, knowing that this eternal thing that's present everywhere, how do I apply it? Feeling joy in every situation, that is the priyam. So priyam helps with the practice. So how do I practice this in my day-to-day life? Where I remember this and recognize that there is something bigger than what I feel, my physical form, my senses, and what I perceive. And this was what Sister shared. And then she carried on to say, so I'm running into an issue where I have a problem, and I know Brother Suresh always say, this too will pass, namaha. So in that case, looking at the situation from that higher level of consciousness, where I'm seeing, I'm not really this person who's experiencing this problem, but I am that Atma, having that level of consciousness where we can elevate ourselves to this unchanging isness, which is what we truly are. Yes. And then she said that knowledge that we have to apply and not really get involved in the problems that we are facing. On that knowledge, we have to apply. Just feel joyful and that this was an experience and we will get through that. To have this constant awareness of who we really are. Yeah. And then we went to question 2. How does this knowledge help one in his or her journey to realize the Atma? Brother Manoj said, people get attached to their body, but once they know that this body is not sat, because it's going to decay, it releases them from the fear of death. Brother Manoj said he used to have this feeling when he went to the crematorium and having the fear that one day too, his body will also be burning like that. So but then after reading all this, he said, why do I worry? I'm not there in the body, so why should I worry? So this is how we can overcome our fear of death, he said. And he said, what I was clinging to in the world were all false. The moment you are ready to sacrifice everything, you are free because those things are binding you. Yes. So the next one, he continued, he said, people ask Swami, why do people get attached to things? And Swami answered, there is no problem with the srishti, which is creation, but there is problem with the drishti, which is the vision. Swami gave an example. He said, suppose you see a beautiful showpiece in the glass display. It is so beautiful, you want to possess it, and your mind will start creating attachment to the object. You want to have it so that you can enjoy it for a longer period, but if somebody else buys it, it will be his. So when you have this feeling, you will feel that you will feel the pain of separation from something you like so much. So, but the moment you enjoy its beauty and then you let it go, the drishti is not affecting you because you had let it go. It's okay. That feeling of renunciation, when it comes, you start feeling joy. So people who know that they are Atma and accept the fact that body has to decay and die one day, this sort of anxiety will not affect them. When we live a life knowing that we are Atma, we will live a more blissful life of Ananda. Yeah, that is very true. And Sister Kamlesh said, that is very true. She said for herself, she has stopped dyeing her hair because she loves her white hair. And I'm not bothered about what people will think about me, she said, because I'm very happy. And then Brother Manoj said, the moment you make a renunciation, you become very happy. That is very true, yes. He said you become immortal by sacrifice. And then brother recited a shloka, yeah, which I did not catch, yeah. And then Sister Vijaya said, just as what Sister Kamalesh has just shared, she too felt the same thing. She too does not dye her hair anymore, and she's not bothered about that, about what others may think about her. And she's happy too. And then I shared that Nisargadatta Maharaj said, if you stay put in beingness, the thoughts will get less and less. If you get mixed up with the thoughts, they will multiply. So stay put in beingness only. So I remember Brother James asked, what do we mean by the word beingness here? So my simple answer was that it is being in the present moment, and absorbing that present moment. That is that sense of beingness. So I don't know whether my answer was correct or not. So we go on to, oh yeah, so today we come to where we were supposed to carry on last week, which is by Sister Vijaya. So as Brother Billy was that okay? Yeah. So Sister Vijaya, are you here tonight? Sister Vijaya? We only have this small part left from our group. And after that, we'll have a video to share. Okay, I think Sister Vijaya is not here. Is Sister Kamlesh here? Or any other sisters from our group or brother? Sairam?
Sister.
Oh, Brother Manoj. Okay, Brother Manoj, can you read for us what Sister Vijaya shared? Yeah.
She said, I remember one of the Swamis saying, I separated myself from myself to love myself. That's why he created the universe. This knowledge about the cosmic consciousness, which is Swami, because he separated himself to create all this nature and all of us, the entire creation. The purpose is to show love to each other. And she asked the question, right?
So she continued.
So I'm loving myself and the other person because we are still one. And that is the driving knowledge that should always be present when we do some service or help to someone, that service to man is a service to God. Remembering all that is that in the activity that we do, that's where the knowledge that I am serving myself when we go to service to somebody else, because we know that Swami separated himself from himself, and we are also Swami, and we have to serve everybody because we are serving ourselves in that part of the creation.
Uh,
And
she,
seeing that oneness helps us to feel that compassion, feel the pain, feel the joy, everything from that person's perspective. We become more aware of oneness and the need to act to make everything joyful for everybody.
yeah. Okay, we go back
I
to
think,
what she first said, brother.
yeah,
Yes. So yeah, this Swami saying I separated myself from myself to love myself. That's how this whole universe began. Yeah. Brother, would you like to explain for her what she mean?
yeah. What she means is that suppose we are a body and we have hand, leg, mouth, and everything, but we say full thing as one, isn't it? I'm so and so with a name and all the degrees and everything and the house and everything that I have. So can I say that if my hand is in pain, I will not feel the pain, or my leg is in the pain, I will not feel the pain? So this is what Swami is trying to explain, that the whole creation is a one big body where all the stars, moon, and all the galaxies, all the plants, animals, the planets, and we also human beings are just connected with that. And the moment we realize that we are part of it, because the ego diminishes, because the other thing becomes myself, part of me, so that when the separateness of is not there, then I will surely love myself. And that is what all the creation which Swami is trying to, that Swami's famous quote, love all, serve all, is because he's trying to give us the glimpses of loving everybody, even he's an enemy, even he is a sinner, even as a good person. Because once we realize that he is a part of the same part of me, like suppose our teeth is there and sometimes it bites our tongue, isn't it?
Mm.
So shall we bite the tongue again, or break the teeth or something like that? No, because teeth and tongue, they're part of me only. So in the same way, Swami is trying to tell that once you realize that this all the people who are there, whether different race, creed, religion, but when they're following their path, there may be some arguments, some disturbances. So even in those places, it's they have hit you, they have killed somebody, but still, the basic part of the humanity is, I mean, the spiritual person he will always be loving to that person also, because he's not seeing the outer look of the worldly thing. He's seeing what is inside. He's saying that the same consciousness is there because it is feeling the same love, it is feeling the same hunger, it is has the same thirst, everything. So when we start seeing the thing at the far vision from at a cosmic level, the differences move away, uh, because then the differences of somebody has shouted at you, somebody is angry with you, somebody has not behaved with you, all those things they diminish, because you start seeing like you have somebody has 4 or 5 children and all the fighting, and they're not caring for mother or father or something like that. So for mother, whether the child is caring or not, or whether the child is loving and caring for her, because it's all the same, because she has felt the same pain while giving birth to all of them.
Mm.
But the thing is that, and if one is hurt, if one is weak, she will feel the pain because she feels she's a part of that person or that child. In the same way, So she's looking at the bigger vision. She's not looking at brothers are fighting, but the being mother, she sees the bigger figure that, oh, the day I came married, I didn't have any children. Now these so many have become part of me. So if they are doing wrong, yes, I must shout and scream, but at the same time, I cannot kill them, I cannot hit them, something like that. So this same, that's what Swami says when he separated himself from himself. Means we became individuals differently, and the purpose of this was to love. Because if I'm alone, I cannot. The love has to be expressed with something which is outside, and that is what Swami is saying that so many multiplicity in the world is all so that we can experience that love. And this is what the whole paragraph talks about. And once we start living our life with that in my mind, in our mind, then what happens that our anger, hatred, everything will go. Right.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Manoj, for explaining that. Okay, so anyone else would like to comment?
Yeah, Jenny.
Saira.
That I commented about the beingness. Being means self. Beingness means with the self, the big self, you know. So that's why you get detached. But what you say is not wrong, you know, live in the present or not, because beingness also live in the present, the now. So it's more or less the same meaning, but the actual meaning actually is referring to be your big self. You know, once you know you are the big self, you'll be detached from from the worldly thing. You'll be less attached to the worldly thing. That's the thing, Sairang.
Thank you, Brother James. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Yes. No, okay, that we this little part here where sister said, seeing that oneness helps us to feel that compassion. Yeah, feel the pain, feel the joy, everything from that person's perspective, we become more aware of that oneness and the need to act to make everything joyful for everybody. Like what Brother Manoj said, Swami says, love all, serve all. So actually, this is the end of our Group 3's presentation. But we have a video to share with you all. The video is about 12 minutes long, but it contains a very interesting and valuable knowledge for us to take in. You see, so Brother Billy will play that video for us, and I hope we will listen to it closely because many things said inside that video is very, very good for us to know. Yeah. So Brother Billy, you have to help us play that video. Thank you. I will stop share first. Yeah, Sairam. Thank you.
Okay, just give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
The question here is that in Advaita Vedanta, we follow a process of self-enquiry. We inquire into our experience of ourselves. And the method for that enquiry is one principle that we take up. The principle that is taken up is, whatever I am aware of, I am not that. Whatever we are aware of is an object, not awareness itself. That which we are aware of is an object to awareness, not awareness itself. So by this process, we eliminate from our self-concept all objects. You see, the problem is that we have identified ourselves with things which are not ourself, with the body, with the mind. We take these to be I, me. but we are not these. Vedanta tells us that you are awareness, pure awareness. Now, how do we reach that? How do we appreciate what we truly are? By this method. This is the method that has been adopted, that the real nature of the self is that which is aware, and anything that we are aware of is not the real self, is an object to the real self. It's a very powerful method. Now, if you follow this method, even if you think about this method, then you will come to this question, which this gentleman has asked. The question is, so our ultimate goal is to know ourselves, self-realization, self-knowledge. Whatever we are aware of is an object, not the self. So when we reach self-knowledge, we'll be knowing the self, but then the self will be an object, because whatever we know is an object. Then it will not be the real self. And this question has to be appreciated. Then you can understand the beauty of the answer. So the answer is that the self can never be known as an object. Whatever is an object is not the self, and that criterion remains true till the very end also. Whatever you know as an object is not the self. So, will the self remain unknown? If the goal is self-knowledge, will we fail in attaining the goal? Will it remain with the self? Will my real self always remain unknown? No. It is more than known. It is not known in the usual sense of knowledge. What is the usual sense of knowledge? Whatever we know as an object, the usual sense of knowledge is by knowing something as an object. I, the consciousness, I deploy instruments of knowledge through the mind and the senses. So through the mind and the eyes, I, the consciousness, I see. What do I see? Objects, forms. I, this awareness, through the mind and the ears, I hear. What do I hear? Objects, sound. Similarly, other objects are there. For each sense organ, separate object. There is smell, and there is taste, and there is touch. Not only that, there are subtle objects in our mind itself. Thought and imagination and memory and ideas and desires, emotions. These are also objects. Why? Because we are aware of them. So at the level of the external world, the objects, physical body, which is part of the external world, object. The breath, we are aware of it, object. Thoughts, emotions, memories, aware of it, object. Not the self. Beyond that, even the intellect which we are using right now for understanding all this, that is also an object. It's a process we are aware of. Beyond that, if you push, as he says, you will reach a blankness. The blankness we experience in deep sleep. The blankness we experience in deep meditation also. So, because it is experienced, that's also an object. It is not us. So we are not the physical body, object. We are not the breath, the pranic body, object. We are not the mental body, mind. We are not the intellect. We are not even the blankness beyond the intellect. Not Annamaya Kosha, not Pranamaya Kosha, not Manomaya Kosha, not Vijnanamaya Kosha, not Anandamaya Kosha. Then, see, here is the beauty of it. We now are looking for our real self. And our tendency is to objectify. Why? Because we have always seen objects. Whatever we know are always objects. So somewhere, even if we say, I know that the self is not an object, we say that, we think that, but unconsciously the impulse is to objectify the self. It can never be objectified. It is not an object of awareness. It is the awareness itself. Then how is it known? Will it be unknown? No, it is more than known. In every act of knowledge it is known. Whenever you know something, the presence of objects, you are knowing the self itself. Whenever you know the absence of objects, you're still knowing the self itself. It's like, let me give you an example. It's only an example. So when I show you the clock, what do you see? It's a clock. And then I show you the mic here. What do you see? Mic. I show you the cloth here. What do you see? Cloth. Clock, mic, cloth. 3 different objects. But notice there's something else you're missing. It is not just clock. It is the light reflected of the clock. There is clock here plus light. The light is falling on it and then it's illumining the clock. So you're seeing the light. The same light falls on this mic and illumines it. It is mic plus light that gives you the experience of the microphone. It is cloth plus light which gives you the experience of the cloth. What is common to all of them? Clock is different from mic is different from cloth, but the same light is illumining all of them. In the same way, there is consciousness in every experience, in every knowledge of every object. One thing is there, consciousness is always there. Now, why did I say it's only an example? One thing one must be careful of here. The clock is a material object, but the light which is reflected from this clock is also a material object. So that does not apply to consciousness. What I mean is, in every knowledge, consciousness is there, but not as an object, as the illuminer of that object. Once we realize that, then we will find it in every knowledge. In Kenopanishad it is said, Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. In every episode of knowledge, in seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, in thinking, remembering, understanding, forgetting, loving, hating, whatever it is, the same consciousness is shining everywhere, but not as an object. So it is self-revealed. There is a very important conception in Advaita Vedanta, self-revealed. Self-revealed is in Sanskrit swaprakasha. Swaprakasha. It does not know itself. It is, in English, self-revealed or self-luminous, swaprakasha. It is revealed by itself continuously, but it's not an object to itself. In philosophy, self-reflexivity is a fault. Self-reflexivity means nothing can make itself an object. So, for example, I can use this finger to touch things. I can touch the microphone, I can touch the cloth, I can touch the table. This fingertip I can touch. But can this fingertip touch itself? No. It can touch other fingertips, but it cannot touch itself. Right? In the same way, these eyes, they can see other things. But they cannot see themselves. And don't say that you can see yourself in a mirror. You are seeing a reflection of the eyes in the mirror. The eyes cannot see themselves directly the way they're seeing other things. So self-reflexivity is not allowed, or it's seen as a fault in philosophy. Self-reflexivity means something knowing itself, something referring to itself. Eyes do not see themselves. The finger does not touch itself. Similarly, consciousness does not know itself. So when enlightenment comes, you cannot say that the self will know itself. No. It does not technically know itself. But it is more than known. It is self-revealed. It's self-luminous. Not only in enlightenment, in every knowledge, in all ordinary knowledge, in religious knowledge, spiritual knowledge, in all kinds of knowledge, consciousness is self-revealed. Just as the light is common when it's reflected off all the objects. Also, the eyes, when we see different things, we are seeing different things, but what is common to all of them? That the eyes are seeing, same eyes are seeing everything. And I touch different things with the fingertips. What is common to that? The same fingertip is touching everything. So, in touching everything, I can say that I know that the fingertip. In seeing everything, the eyes are self-revealed. In self-knowledge, what happens is you realize the luminous nature of consciousness, and then in every act of knowledge, it doesn't have to be only Brahma-jnana. In every act of knowledge, the self is revealed, consciousness is revealed. That in dualistic language, it is called seeing God everywhere, seeing God in everyone, seeing God in every experience. So the answer to the question is, when self-realization comes, will the self know itself? If it knows itself, then it becomes an object. It cannot be the self anymore. No, it will not know itself as an object. But the self-luminous nature of consciousness will be revealed to us and will be continuously available. It is already continuously available to us. We don't recognize it, that's all. We will recognize it in thereafter every act of knowledge, in every episode of knowledge, it will be recognized. And that is called freedom in Kenopanishad. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. In every cognition, when consciousness reveals itself, when you realize it, the presence of consciousness, yourself, the self, real self, that is called immortality. Then you may live anywhere, you may live in any way. Yatra tatra, in the language of Ashtavakra. Yatha tatha. As whatever your condition, you may be a monk, you may be a householder, you may be fully active in the world, you may be totally withdrawn from the world, you may be healthy, the body may be healthy or sick, you may be young or old, a body. In whatever condition, you may be well known in the world, you may be absolutely unknown, whatever is the condition of your life, wherever you exist, you are that one ever free consciousness, you are totally free. And that is Jivan Mukti, freedom while living. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Brother Billy, for playing that. Yeah,
Very nice.
yes,
Very nice video, sister. It was amazing.
very
The
good.
way he explains the consciousness.
Very
Earlier, we used to always say neti, neti, neti. But it's not neti. It is self-revealing. That is the consciousness. I think you have given the gist of the
yes.
full
Yes.
presentation.
Mm.
Very beautiful way.
And he said, the self cannot be objectified, no, because it is not the object of awareness. It is the awareness itself, you know. Yeah. So we learn that whatever we are aware of is an object, not the self. No, it's something quite new. When I heard this, I was very, very interested. And then he also said, when self-realization comes, the self's luminous nature of consciousness will be revealed to us. So he said it's already continuously available to us, just that we don't recognize it, you know. Yeah.
I think, Brother Billy, you can share this. It's a very beautiful, powerful video.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to share your understanding from this video?
I was just looking at the Tao Te Ching. It says this chapter, you see that the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the origin of heaven and earth. So very, very profound statement. And I'm still trying to understand it.
Yeah, very profound. Yes. Beautiful, really beautiful.
I think what I feel is that the way we can, a practical example is electricity. I mean, we see the fan, we see the everything, movement and everything, but finally, it's the electricity which is illuminating, which is giving movement and everything. So I think it can be also compared with the electricity also, which which cannot be seen also, but it's actually the underlying principle of every modern gadget or every modern equipment, which is giving us this awareness that this is that something is moving in this world.
Yes, it's like always available to us, just
Yes.
like we don't see it. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sairam. So what he says is actually true, but to experience is a different level. What he say actually is true, but the experience is an experience. It's not for you to. I mean, he's describing the most detail, but yet the missing part is always the experience. Like he said, we are not the body, the mind, the intellect, which is true. Which we always think our mind, our body, and our intellect, we are very clever. Okay, something like that. It is not an object of awareness. It is awareness itself. So that awareness itself has to be experienced. Then consciousness does not know itself. It is consciousness itself. It is consciousness. Right? Consciousness does not know itself. It is consciousness. So that means No matter how you describe, still you need to experience it. This is only trying to describe, but we don't feel it. We don't experience it. So we have to do our sadhana to reach that level. Okay.
Yes.
Then few other things that is very important that one of the things I can add on is the awareness, the self. When you experience actually has bliss beyond the mind, you just know. Self-reveal itself is actually an experience. So he's just showing the sign, the path, but we need to be there to experience it. Right? Awareness, self has bliss and beyond mind, and you just know. And it's very intelligent that level. Right? It's self-revealing, right? And then self-revealing itself, consciousness revealing itself. Right? Self is not observable, you say, right? That's the right thing. But we need to do sadhana to reach that level. He's trying to describe that level for you, but how he described also, we haven't tasted. So remember, when you are at that level, you will just know. They said it's just consciousness. It just reveals itself. And it's intelligent, it's bliss, and you just know it. Something that is like beyond mind, intellect, body. That's what I can share with you, Sairam.
Yes, yeah, Brother James, thank you. Yeah, it is like what Brother Billy said just now, the Tao, the Tao. It's about experiencing it, because there are no words to describe that kind of experience. You have to experience it yourself to know. And even after experiencing it, I think there are no words to describe that kind of experience. Yeah, the Tao is very much like that.
Actually, it's same. It's different wording only. Knowing the Tao is not Tao. Actually, it's true.
Because once you describe it, becomes an object, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, Brother Manoj, yes.
So the only thing I can tell you is, like Swami said, this is spiritual wisdom. Lord Krishna, Swami also say, meditation is the way to this. Actually, this is spiritual wisdom, spiritual real knowledge beyond the worldly knowledge. Right? So that's the reason why after doing all the sadhana, the final sadhana is still meditation we need to do. Because that will lead you to this level, which is totally beyond the mind. Right? The other way is, unless we can reach the pure love level, that means nothing will touch you, which is a bit more difficult. But I would say if you use both better. That's why there's a combination of all the yogas, together, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, and jnana yoga, and then the meditation level. To reach that level, we need all this combination to help us to support to reach that level, right? That is our final objective, right? And then in the end, it's not objective itself, you know that, right? When you have done all the living service and all that, you become like, your nature already, You don't ask for anything already, right? You already like total surrender. Then you are just experiencing it. So initially, of course, we have goal and objective lah. We have the goal, the path, what we should do. This is what we are all doing, right? But when you reach towards the highest one, you don't ask for anything. Everything is there. You don't ask for anything. Everything is there.
Sairam, we can apply this to 5 elements, the 5 values also.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5 values help. Yeah, that's all the basic. Those are all foundation.
Yes, all cosmic, the whole world, the universe, whatever is there.
The question which we all have to think is that when we say we love, and Swami says, I separated myself from myself. It means there is an object which we are loving. So, what is the selfless love about? Because once we start loving, means we are two identities. We are not we are not same. I think we need to discuss on this. And what is selfless love means that. Okay, I will not accept that. I will not say that, okay, I'm the person, I'm loving you or something like that, because I feel that you and me are one, then that's a selfless love. But I think there is a catch here which can tell us that this what this consciousness is. Because Swami said, I have separated myself from myself so that I can love, isn't it? And love is a consciousness or the energy or whatever you say. So to experience that consciousness or love, I mean, the two objects has to be made, isn't it? So the question remains that what is selfless love means? Normally we say that, okay, if I don't consider myself anything and I don't take anything, just I want to love, 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 love. But thing is that still there's a duality between me and the thing being loved. So is the selfless love can take us to this our knowledge of getting conscious. That's what I feel that. I mean, sometimes this very very thin layer in understanding this selfless love. Because okay, I will. What I feel that if the moment I forget myself, then that the love doesn't come, because I cannot love the other object. So Swami says that I separated myself from myself. Means there has to be two separate identities, isn't it? So let's think on this and let's discuss more. Maybe others can also put their effort to see how it can be explained in this context of consciousness.
Yes, without understanding, experiencing it, there cannot be realization.
Sabitan, you have anything to decipher this?
Yeah. Maybe I can share a bit more about this in the next presentation. I think we might not be going. We might be touching on this, what I'm aware of, and how we can get closer to true love or selfless love.
Okay, yeah, Saira. Thank you, Brother Sabitan. Yeah, so
Sairam, I think brother says selfless love. I think we started with Seva, which is selfless services. So we know services have merits and can win God's grace, but that is not our objective. We actually follow what Swami taught us, right? Selfless service will develop love, compassion, and mercy in us. I think most of them do Seva will have this. Then you will reach a level where you got passion of doing. When you have passion of doing, you become like selfless love. That means not yet at the full, but at least a good start developing in selfless love itself. That means your passion, your love, there is no time. You just the joy of doing it. The joy of doing it. The thing is, even at that level, which you really enjoy doing the selfless seva, the seva that you do, selfless service you do, and the passion, the love. But do we convert it into our everyday life, where we face so many obstacles and challenges? Do we actually our love can withstand or can overcome all those obstacles and challenges? If we can overcome that, not affected by all those, then it becomes selfless love. But we need to start with selfless services to develop love, compassion, and then bring out to everyday life. Even with all the challenges, can we remain calm? All right? Can we remain always connected to Swami when we have difficulty? Do we accept all those challenges and problems? See, knowing all this and communicating with Swami, you become what I call equanimity. Don't talk about selfless love. The equanimity is already equivalent to that already. You know, that means you are not affected by good and bad. It's already very high level. Selfless love also unaffected by all this side.
Just to add on what Brother James has said just now, I think there are two more other components which usually hinders us from experiencing that selfless love. Number one is, of course, the being present without any judgment of whatever is happening in the present moment. Most of the time, we don't experience that love because of the resistance the mind puts up with whatever is in your experience itself. So that the level of acceptance or surrender doesn't blossom naturally. And once that surrender blossoms naturally, the selfless love or the concept of selfless love, it starts to blossom. And the other part is also sacrifice. Sacrifice is actually very important, and this is not sacrifice of your possessions or no, but it's sacrificing the identity of the limited self. The reason why we cannot experience the true self or the big self, as Brother James puts it, is because of our firm or the still at a very deep level, the identification of the limited self, the small self is still there within us. So in whatever way we can, we need to learn to sacrifice or disidentify with those thoughts. And at the same time, it has to translate into our actions also, not necessarily just, at a thinking level, you disidentify with the thoughts, but it has to translate through your actions, through your conduct, through your behavior. And by sacrificing this, what you eventually realize is everything starts to flow in line, and your purpose, like what Brother James mentioned just now, Brother Manoj also mentioned the same thing. Your purpose, everything will start to flow as if it's all finally starting to make sense. And as the purpose starts to grow, your level of selfishness will start to reduce, and then you will start to become very selfless, and it starts to move externally. But what is very interesting about this is also the father of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, who his entire life was actually just spent on describing some psychosexual therapies and whatnot, but he also focused on the ego development. Ego means your name, right? The image that we have of ourselves. And even he says that one way to reduce the strength of the ego, or to weaken this ego, is to sacrifice. Sacrifice meaning that you need to help others, and when you do it, you need to sacrifice your own personal or limited whatever which holds you back from moving forward and sacrificing even more. Brother Arvind mentioned in his Satsang, and Brother Prem Anush, and a lot of them, they always describe Swami. Swami is a person who his entire life, from the day he declared until the end, every single moment was sacrificed to everyone, for everyone else's happiness, for everyone else's enlightenment, and for our own spiritual progress. So just to add to what Brother James has said, being present and also sacrifice, that's one thing, and also acceptance of whatever happens without any judgment in your present moment experience. Sarah.
Karen, brother, I think very nicely explained, both of you. It's worth taking note. But to me, in this Sarvananda Priya's lecture, he said one line: you become Jivan Mukta. It means by living in this world, you become liberated. That word is, really it touched me that when we start seeing the world with a feeling that it is the consciousness which is doing everything, and that consciousness is which is seeing is the moment we objectify, it means that is not consciousness. The moment which I am doing and which can be described is not consciousness. So when we start living our life with that sort of understanding, I think then we will be able to move towards knowing that what exactly is our. But because even knowing also is a thing of mind, it can be objectified. So what, as Brother James and all said, you be in the present moment means what happens that your existence is not there at all, and you start like seeing that if the thirst is there means the thirst is the body thirst. It's not the your the consciousness thirst. It's not the thing. So idea is that when I like that point when he says anything which can be object cannot be consciousness. And when we start living our life in those lines, I think we will be reaching to our goal, whether it's in service, whether in studies, whether in world, whether dealing with the people everywhere. And that sort of observation, if we have, I think the consciousness or the awareness, consciousness can be experienced. And I feel that in the selfless service also, when we start serving, initially there's a duality that I'm serving for the other person. And later on this feeling comes that I'm serving. And when slowly after doing that, removing all the traces of service, all the traces of everything goes off, then we become purely in a blissful state. And that is what is our aim of our life is. And what I felt that the selfless love is also going beyond, realizing that it's just an act which we're doing, but there's no, I mean, aim which you're doing for what. There's no the person you're doing for what. You're supposed to do it, and you're doing it, and that is what where we are not objectifying the thing, and it's our nature which we are trying to express by helping others, by loving others. And that is how the selfless loves can also be gone towards knowing our real self. That's what I could understand during the discussion. Saira.
Yes, Sairam. Yeah, actually, regarding doing selfless service, actually doing selfless service is actually like a spiritual journey within oneself. A journey that grows us spiritually as we go about, helping others. Doing selfless service is very much actually more for our own spiritual progress than for the people we are serving. Because the people we are serving, they receive what we get, whether they are things or help or whatever. It only stays for a while for them, but for us, the whatever we do, the spiritual journey within continues to grow and grow. And that's how I think one of the ways we can progress spiritually by doing selfless service. It's actually for our own self, more for our own self. Yeah. Sairam. Anyone? Sorry?
Just to add one more. I think if we can find this in all of us, right? The joy and passion of doing his work. When you do Swami's work, do you have the joy and the passion, And then the love of practicing his teaching. So these are very motivational, If you can find this, you are already at a very good flow into the what I call the selfless love, right? The joy and passion of doing his work, and the love of practicing his teaching. And not only this, when you do this, you will be like, you might become fearless, because there will be a lot of people who are against you, talk bad about you, naming you and all that, But you become fearless because you are on the truth, you are on the right path. So why should you fear? Even your closest friends or lady or even your partner, ask you not to do, you still do. Because why? You know it's the truth. You know there's something good. So you don't listen to any other people. You just practice his teaching. You just do his work. The love and passion of doing. And time flies, when you do this. When you reach the level of doing this, your time flies. And you're very happy. Right? But you also know there will be a lot of challenges because you are fearless, Sairam.
Sairam. Okay, so maybe group 3 and finishes its presentation here. So, Brother Billy, Sairam, Brother.
Yeah, perhaps Dr. Sabita like to continue from here.
Okay, so thank you all very much for listening and watching the video. Thank you, Sairam.